Hey everyone, how you doing today? It's Vicious, and I'm home from work, and it's time for some new Dungeon Defenders tutorials. I've been looking at all my requests, and I'm having a lot of requests for Glitterhelm Caverns Insane. Also, probably the two main requests I'm getting right now are what is the best way to farm mana, and what is the best way to farm experience, like leveling up alts, which of course is going to be popular now. Because of the new DLC giving us new heroes. So I just created a new hero, got a Countess here, and prior to 7.11, definitely the best place to farm mana was Glitterhelm Caverns, and also farming experience was Glitterhelm Caverns. What I would actually do for power leveling a character is I would start off on Deeper Well Insane till I got to about level 30 or so. Then I would go to Ramparts and do hard or insane till about level 40, 50-ish. And then I'd finish off from 50 to 70 at Glitterhelm Caverns. The challenge is that you have to do hard difficulty or something in the past, because you would switch out your main hero for your low level alt, and your alt would have to fight out the rest of the game. But now, since about 3 patches ago, experience points are shared between heroes. So anyone participating gets equal experience. So that means I can stay on my main hero and level up my alt. And therefore, if you're strong enough to handle the increased enemy numbers and HP, then soloing Glitterhelm Caverns Insane is going to be the best way to level up an alt. So I'm doing one tutorial today, but it has 3 purposes. It's going to be the video I'm going to point you to if you ask me where to farm experience. It's going to be the video I point you to if you want to ask where to farm mana. And it's also the video for how to beat Glitterhelm Caverns on Insane in 7.11. I'm going to start with my Squire. Let me go ahead and show you his stats real quick. And we're going to use a Monk and an Apprentice. Here's my Monk stats. And the Apprentice, still using the same build I used to do, except now it's modified for the higher DU cost for 7.11. I use the Squire because he can get down defense and offense on the first wave. And the spike walls are very important because you have to have strong walls to hold up against ogres on this challenge. So I don't use mage barricades on this challenge. I have just enough speed on the Squire to make this and switch out first wave. It's very important to be able to do that. It'll be much harder for you if you can't do that. The Countess has a higher run speed, and that's actually the reason I chose her, and I'm leveling her up first, because I very much look forward to having a faster Squire so I can do buildings on Insane without worrying about dying so badly. Two spike walls and a harpoon here. I grabbed the first 2 chests that were on the way. I'm going to go ahead and grab these 3 chests now. And here's the 3rd one. I usually throw down a harpoon behind this crystal for wyvern defense, but I'm going to go ahead and skip it because I'm going to be switching to the Apprentice next, and I'll go ahead and be the first tower I put down when I switch. I'll put the anti-air towers there. Grab this chest. And this one here. 2 more spike walls right here at the wall, where this little brick is on the left side and the blue mushroom is on the right. There is another treasure chest just down that hall there, but I don't need the mana. And I don't want to waste the time. Time is more valuable right now, because you really just do not want to have the timer run out before you can switch over to your next hero. That way you can start building during the combat phase. 2 spike blockades about halfway up the stairs. You probably could put them lower down if you want. They used to go up there higher so to prevent splash damage from the ogre onto your crystal from the puke ball. But now that that's been patched out, you could probably move those down if you wanted to. So we're still continuing with the 2 spike wall harpoon setup. Just one spike here on the bridge with a harpoon behind it. And one harpoon behind the crystal here for now. All of my squire towers are just temporary except for the walls, just so that I have something to kill the mobs on this first wave. They're going to be replaced with apprentice towers shortly. We'll hit the M key to drop all of our mana and swap over to the tower apprentice. And so now we can start our permanent buildings. One magic missile in the front, one magic missile in the back. That's going to protect you against all the wyverns that spawn and try to kill that crystal. At every choke, we're going to put one magic missile and one fireball. This bridge right here is particularly tricky. Things can sneak through if you're not 100% perfect on tower placement. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and start here. Same thing, one magic missile, one fireball. It's very, very simple to remember this because it's consistent throughout. Make sure that it's far enough away from your spike wall so that when the ogre gets up and close, it doesn't hit your mage towers. Now here's the layout for this one. One directly behind it, facing at the crystal. And then one directly beside it, facing kind of out this way. And then another one beside it, facing kind of outward, like that. The reason I get them close instead of moving them farther out so they can attack sooner is because they're protected. If a wyvern was to get into this, behind this or on it, this back one can protect it. So that's the reason it's done like that. And I might not have enough time to switch to my monk since I was dawdling while I was talking. But that's okay. So magic missile. I kind of like to put the fireball tower either here or on the corner, just because it's a little bit of a good placement for that one. Magic missile and fireball. At the top of these stairs, we're going to put one magic missile facing down. Instead of putting a wall in the doorway, almost never does aggro come that way. But if anything does, it's going to be very light. That one tower can take care of it. If you do put a wall there, you increase your chances of getting aggro significantly because there's a tower too close to the spawn point. So that's why just putting that tower there is a better idea, because it can kill the enemies and it will pull less aggro. When you're solo, you'll almost never have aggro go in strange places, but when you're playing as a group, it tends to happen a lot more often. And the build should be complete for the, yeah, I just didn't switch out in time. So we're gonna have to DPS some ogres with my tower monk next wave. Remember to always use your shift key so you can see where these ogres are spawning. Basically, the towers will take care of everything except for ogres, which they actually, once we get the monk ores in place, they can take care of ogres as well. But if you get a double ogre spawn, things might get a little bit blah, so you might as well help out. And upgrading towers is always a good thing to be doing during your spare time. Alright, Tower Monk. You are definitely going to get caught having to fight ogres, so make sure you have something to fight ogres with. Have a DPS weapon, have an animus, or just be prepared to repair your towers, your walls and stuff as they take a beating. We're putting an electric aura, an ensnare aura, and a strength drain aura at every single choke. I took note before I started the video that I had just over 6 million mana. I had like 6,200,000. So we'll take note of how much I have when we finish to see how much mana you make on this map as far as mana farming. And once I get my towers set up, I'm going to go ahead and bring in my Countess on split screen and see how much experience we get. I know on the old build, some people were telling me that they had trouble with the wyverns. I'm not really sure why, I never have personally. And so they would sub out the magic missile towers with deadly strikers, but I suggest you do this instead. Wander over here to the edge and put down an ensnare aura. And do the same for over here, put an ensnare aura over here. So now if your magic missile damage is not high enough to easily kill these, because they're going to be slowed down, you'll be more than okay. And a 2 defense unit ensnare aura is a much better choice than a 7 defense unit striker tower. And I got unlucky, the ogre spawned at the one place I didn't have a aura up yet, looks like. Okay guys, here's a good look at the screen right now. This is the completed build. As you can see, I still have some defense units left, so I didn't even use them all, so the new increased units count for the auras has not been a problem for me. Leaves you a little bit of wiggle room. If you were playing a team game, what I would do is put some towers over here by this crystal facing back the other way, because that's one of those other spots that won't grab aggro when you're solo as long as you're not hanging out in this area, but it might often grab aggro in a team game just because of the behaviors. So I am going to switch to my DPS character. You can be a huntress, you can be a monk, you can be whatever you want. I'm going to go ahead and use an apprentice. And I'm going to grab my Xbox controller and bring in the new Countess. There we go. I hate split screen, but it's a necessary evil. It's pretty easy to not use split screen and do this on hard. Just you know, get your build done. You can do it in 2 waves because you don't have any timer. And then from there, switch to your ult, and your towers will be strong enough to kill everything without your ult having to do anything. But for insane, you definitely will need a DPS hero. Well, I shouldn't say definitely. You could actually get away with just repairing and not attacking. If at all possible, use a ranged character like an apprentice or a huntress, because there's a 30% bonus to experience if your crystal takes no damage and your hero takes no damage. for each, so they stack. That's extra 60% experience. Unfortunately, my crystal already took damage, so blah. I don't know if it's per wave or just once per game that they give you a chance to get those. And then we're just basically going to be ogre hunting now. Looks like the ogre is in the center. And to the north. I could get up and close and personal and kill them a lot faster, but I'm trying to get that no hero damage bonus to experience. Alright, at the center again. If you get something hung up like that, you can use it to your advantage. Instead of killing it, you can go around repairing and upgrading. I'll try to get most of the chests as I'm playing. You don't really find good loot in them anymore like you used to, but you still get extra money for the stuff that's inside when it sells. And this is the reason I like to use my apprentice more than my huntress. It's just because the casting speed is so nice for upgrading. I'm actually surprised that this crystal took damage. It's the first time that I've had it get hit once I put these ensnares up. Ogre right here. Too crafty and go up this way. Oh, it looks like I just got hit somehow. So no sense in staying far away anymore. Might as well get up close and personal. Oh, I see. This thing took damage. So, actually, I did get aggro back from this side. This is one of the explosive cobalts. Where else do we have ogres at? Nowhere right now. Spoke too soon. Right here. Wow, it happened again. It's really unusual. Looks like I got double ogres here. I had triple ogres earlier. And again, wow. Whoa. Something's over there attacking that, I think. I might want to hang out over here. See why this is failing. All I can think of is that kobolds are running over here, considering the amount of damage done to the crystal and these towers. So Yeah, keep that in mind if you're doing the split screen thing, that, like I said, when you're playing as a group, aggro changes on mobs. Because when I do this solo, this never happens. Looks like some ogres and a few mobs. Okay, there we go. There's some new keyboard shortcuts that dump all your points instantly, but I have no idea what that is with the controller. Alright. And let's activate the crystal. Actually, I can just go ahead and drop the second player. There we go. So what I want to check is how much experience we got on that alt character, because that was a level 0 character. How much mana we got. Okay, mana wise, we went from 6.2 million to 8.2 million. So you get 2 million mana per run. And experience wise, I went from 0 to about 900,000. It takes about 3 million to get to level 70. So you'd have to do it 4 times to get a character to level 70. If you only play the final waves like I did and you don't get the bonuses. So there you go, guys. That's a 3-in-1 tutorial. How to level up your alts, how to farm for mana, and how to beat Glitterhelm Caverns on Insane. Keep in mind that the best way to get mana could possibly be Insane Survival, but the time it takes to get to the higher waves where you start making good money means the time versus mana ratio is not very high until much later. So farming Glitterhelm Caverns is going to be the most economical way for most people and the most guaranteed method. So I hope you guys enjoyed the tutorial. If you like the content, be sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you want to see what comes next, and I'll see you next time.